And ladies, there's a price to pay for messing with Mercedes Moné. I have it on good authority. They did 20 takes, and that was the best one. I'm Charles Renton with my review of AEW Dynamite from the Indiana Farmers Coliseum in Indianapolis, Indiana. Let me know your thoughts on this show in the comments, please. We're just a few days away from AEW Dynasty in the historic wrestling city of St. Louis, Missouri, where Sam Muchnick took wrestling higher and higher into the stratosphere with so many great talents coming in and out the gateway to the West. St. Louis wrestling, something that many people still remember to this day. Do you know anything about St. Louis wrestling? I'd love to know what you guys have to say in the comments as well. Of course, AEW Dynasty, not to be confused with the show Dynasty that had Joan Collins. Does anybody know who Joan Collins is? Did you know that Joan Collins is still alive? I'm fucking surprised as well. 90 years old, even though parts of her aren't even old enough to legally drink. Enough dumping on Joan Collins. Also, the predictions for AEW Dynasty will pop up sometime after this review goes up. As of this recording, 10 matches, and nevertheless. So, first things first, a bit of breaking news shattering the world of wrestling and wrestling Twitter ablaze with the news that Ruby Soho is no longer solo. She is with child. She is going to be expecting a child soon. That's usually what you mean by with child. Apparently, this whole thing with Angelo Parker is legit. Okay, cool. Han Luke, ha 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 ha. And I just want to say to both of them, I'm sorry. Congratulations. That's what I mean. Q Faye Dunaway and Mommy Dearest, if you get it, you get it. And also, the Oklahoma State Athletic Commission tried to bring the hammer down because Nyla Rose wants to live as her true self, and because they're bigoted, homophobic, goddamn morons that apparently hate people living as their true selves. I'm not talking about everybody in Oklahoma, just so you know. I am referring to the people on the State Athletic Commission that, quite frankly, are idiots and deserve the worst things in life. And if anybody from that State Athletic Commission happens to be watching this, get the fuck out of here, you fucking goddamn bigots. If your views align with anybody on the State Athletic Commission, fuck y'all. Fuck y'all. Fucking sick of this goddamn shit. If they ain't harming nobody, let's just let them live as their true selves. Nyla Rose can kick the shit out of y'all. That's probably why you're just so scared of her. Nevertheless, State Athletic Commission of Oklahoma, go so to hell. Good people of Oklahoma, I have nothing against you at all. Hopefully you get better people in charge sooner, rather than later. Let's get to the review. So yes, Indiana Farmers Coliseum, 6,500 seat capacity, around 3,000, 3,100 according to WrestleTix. You know what? Wasn't a sellout, but run more mid-size arenas and promote them, and maybe you'll at least get a halfway decent crowd. Crowd was actually kind of noisy. And here's Mox's thing. He won the IWGP thing at Windy City Riot in Chicago. It's the Mox thing. And he gets a big pop. They did the entire song, basically. That song's like, what, 3 minutes and 20 seconds? And he talks about how he had to swim upstream when he first started. He won a title at some flea market thing or whatever it is, and he didn't have any help. And that people kept telling him what to do and what not to do. Well, damn it, he's going to do things his way. And then Frank Sinatra rose up from the dead and said, I'm going to die again. Because how dare he? But you deserve a chance. We haven't heard those enough on wrestling shows lately. So he's been chasing the IWGP title for 5 years. You have to wonder if the pandemic hadn't hit, if he might have won it maybe in 2022. Possibly, maybe, we will never know. And then he talks about, you know, you can make it work. It depends on what you feel deep inside. How deep is your love? Then he talks about the Cowles family. He says he is going to pick the biggest guy there, Willie Hobbs, next week in Daly's place. That's going to be interesting to see if they draw a crowd there, considering how much they basically had to use that to the point people got sick of the venue, but it's kind of a cool venue. And he basically says he's going to take Hobbs out and take him into deep water, and even the ref won't be able to save him. That's murder, Mox. That's murder. So there you are. He's the best wrestler in the world. Of course you are, Mox. Of course you are. With the right person, he can do some good stuff, but he just insists on doing weapons-based stuff and bleeding, and after a while, it just makes me numb to him. So, that being said, crowd was pretty fired up. And then Mercedes had her, apparently, she looked at what David Robinson did and said, hey, I remember the old Spurs logo. Let me put that on my hair. And I'm sorry, but I'm kind of over this whole thing with Mercedes. She can work. These promos are rehearsed. Very rehearsed. That's why I did the opening line right there. I imagine there were a lot of takes done of this. Whatever. And after the Adam Copeland made his entrance, Willow Nightingale was found backstage. Chris Statlander was trying to nurse her back to health. All right. And the Peanut Gallery was there. Wait, that's Stokely. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He's like Hans Moleman. Just without the humor. So, that being said, it's the Adam Copeland against Brody King and Julia Hart. The lights go out for about 8 years. The Adam Copeland is distracted. I know that I probably shouldn't call him that. That's wordy. But for some reason, it just sticks. Like shit to a wall. Kind of fitting for Khan's creative. Julia Hart distracts. That makes sense. And, yeah, Brody basically beats the shit out of him before the bell. We do a barricade bump. This was a match. It was okay. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. It was a way to hype up all the stuff going on with Julia and Willow. And also the trios match is going to be taking place at Dynasty. There was a blockbuster by the Adam Copeland. That was nice. And then Willow shows up to a pop. She crossbodies Brody. Hits a cannonball. And then Julia hits her with a chain after basically the women are tagged in because by default Julia's tagged in. And then gets Heartless on after Copeland basically... I assume he saw this and was just like, I need to do my spot! And then Julia pulls on Willow's hair and then chokes her out. I've seen this in a movie before. Let's move on. Then Mercedes shows up with a chair and stares down Willow like, I think you attacked me. I bet it was Marvez. He didn't want somebody more rehearsed than him to be on this show. Renee is with Joe backstage. Was it just badly filmed or was this a green screen? I'm asking a serious question because it didn't look right. Joe's very good at this. Puts Swerve over as a great athlete, says he felt he was a worthy challenger and then he just became a nuisance. All this. He's going to beat him down. He's a joke artist. Hasn't won a title at all in AEW. And it's fair. He hasn't. A singles title at least. And then we have more evidence that Okada isn't going to mean shit to this company. Because it's Okada and the Young Blooks against Daniel Garcia. I don't actually think that's what the theme is. Penta and Pac. Garcia does the dance while wearing pants in front of one of the Bucks in the corner. And then Okada pinned Garcia. It was a way to hype up the various matches taking place. They want me to care about the Bucks. That's adorable. Then they get a ladder, and then Pac has the ring bell hammer that he used before. Apologies, by the way, if I sound rough. Allergies are a bitch. Austin Prock apparently is the NHRA funny car driver. That's fitting, because basically the Bucks, are they're basically the comedy edition, of wrestling. They're just the unfunny comedy edition. They think they're funny, and they never have been. Those that like the Bucks, that's fine. They make me not want to watch Okada, so good job there. Taz then hosts this interview segment with Hook and Jericho. Hook, by the way, is Taz's son, just in case you didn't know. And they boo Jericho a ton. He's growing a goatee. The problem is he looks like he should be, put like on like a poster and everything in the neighborhood watch should be keeping an eye on him. No one that has been... Jericho talks about everybody who's worked with me has gotten over, been taken to the next level, caught in the Jericho vortex. There's a joke there. Sayonara the learning tree. That learning tree has Dutch elm disease. And nobody has benefited working with Jericho. Name one person that has benefited working with Jericho. I was there for like what should have been the end of the whole thing with Starks and then it went on. The stuff with Adam Cole was terrible. The stuff with MJF was terrible. Sit under the learning tree. Hook's like, no, I don't need your help. And Taz is trying to stop Jericho, and he says, I'm doing what you should have done 30 years ago. Hook is not even 30 years old, Jericho. Dates should not be that hard. Remember where your wife was on January 6, 2021. Piece of shit. Hopefully his wife fucking gets arrested for that shit. Anyway, this is really bad. Taz gets shoved by Jericho. Apparently Taz has a bad knee, so hopefully he's alright. And then you fucked up, Chance. You fucked up loud and audible. I bet Warner Bros. Discovery loved that, but hey, whatever. The crowd was into it. And Hook is going to kill you. He's telling Jericho to get the fuck out of his ring or get out of his ring. No. Hey, goodbye. This went on for a while. I fear the Hook's not going to win. And even if he does, it's not going to benefit anybody. Hook apparently is going to test free agency. It might not hurt for him to go to the Performance Center. Renee is with Swerve. Was that another green screen? I don't care. Swerve will not give up. He will not quit. He will never give up. He will never surrender. He's a Galaxy Quest fan. And then anything else he wants to say, he's going to tell Joe in the ring. And then Mariah May took on Dianna Peraza. Toni Storm, anytime they cut to her, black and white, all that. Mariah May looks great in the Toni Storm rocker gear. Dianna looks great. Both these women can work. The match is fine for what it was. The crowd totally fucking died. Absolutely fucking died. A bad apron bump for no reason. And there was a nice hip attack. Boy, howdy. A nice DDT. They worked hard, and then we got a variation of a roll-up. 1, 2, 3. So Dianna got the victory. Toni instantly attacks. Mariah May basically ends up, helping attack. And then suddenly, Toni Storm's attacking. Thunder Rosa, big pop by the way, looking as only she can look, looking great. Just clocks Luther. I mean, my God. Like, did Luther tell her a bad show? Because just boom! I mean, he took that. And clocks Mariah, gets in the face of Dianna, because all this stuff, the champagne bath thing, all that stuff that was going on last week, Dianna and Thunder Rosa, there's tension there. I think it's going to play into the finish of Dynasty. I'll talk about that in the predictions. And then, Mariah May and Dianna get into a skirmish. And then Toni tries to attack. She gets laid out. And then Thunder Rosa hits a really nice kick, knocks her out, then pins her down, pulls her hair, and just mounts her and then puts lipstick on her and everything. And that's exactly the kind of treatment that I think a lot of people would want. Thunder Rosa being dominant. Who wouldn't want Thunder Rosa to be dominant? Moving on. I love Thunder Rosa. What a fucking talent. No, in all seriousness. What a fucking talent. Pretty close to the goddamn perfect wrestler because she can work with anybody. She can vary up her style. She looks incredible. Has looked incredible for a number of years. Has put in the work to get back into, healing up from her back injury and all that and all the injuries she's had. She's finally back. Again, looking as only she can look, working as only she can work. And it was certainly nice to see. Certainly nice to see Thunder Rosa all dominant. So, that was nice. Putting the lipstick on her and everything. Why are you so serious? Then Renee is with the Gangbang Gang, the Guns and Jay White. This is a very exciting time in AEW. Is it, Renee? Is it really? And yeah, challenge for the Acclaimed. You have what we want. We're the Ring of Honor Trios champions, but you have what we want. These belts aren't shit. We want those belts that don't mean shit. Then back from the break, the Acclaimed accept the challenge. Billy then confesses to beating his kids. There are worse things that wrestlers have done to their kids. Like having the dogs in the enclosed pool area and the side garage door open. And then, speaking of side garage doors needing to be open, I wanted to, actually close up my garage and maybe never come out of it. Orange Cassidy against Shane Taylor. Orange Cassidy won in 8 minutes. And then Daniels and Seidel tried to help. And with a beatdown, or after a beatdown occurred, with Shane Taylor Promotions, and Trent stopped him. The least interesting member of that group. That used to be in that group. Okay. It is what it is. Pre-tape on Strong and O'Reilly. They were friends, turned enemies, and now Roderick Strong's like, you can do things on your own when I tell you. What? Stop having Roderick talk, please. Ospreay versus Claudio. Highly athletic work. No complaints here. Good TV main event. They worked hard. Claudio's hella strong. Ospreay, has the crowd on his side. They worked hard. Swing into a DDT. Again, they worked hard. Callis offered nothing, but at least he was away from the women's locker room. Hidden Blade, 1, 2, 3. Not bad. I didn't have anything that I hated about it. I just didn't have anything I absolutely loved about it. It was what it was. And then the family attacks. And then here's Mox. He goes after Hobbs. And then we get the card rundown. And by the way, in case your DVR didn't record over, this is where it would have cut off because they had a 7-minute overrun after ending pretty much on time last week. Swerve comes out, last sell for the pay-per-view. Joe comes out, security's out there. Swerve does a stomp on all the security. Joe throws him into the steps, beats him up a little bit, gets in the ring, looks like he's about to attack Nana, gets hit with the house call, and Joe then hits Swerve with the Muscle Buster a little bit later, and that's your lot right there. So that is it for Dynamite. It was what it was. I might, depending on how I feel, I might watch Collision and Rampage and just review that just for the final sell before Dynasty. Or I might just say, fuck it. We'll see. I will be watching Dynasty. Will you? Let me know. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retlin. I'll see you soon.